Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're going to do another simple card using texture, and this is not the card we're going to make. We're going to make one similar, and I'm going to show you another one that I made just so that you can see different ways you can do pretty much the same thing. And take care of some business. If you're on YouTube and you want a project sheet, you need to go to my website. It's stampmesilly.com, and you can download it there from today's post. If you have any questions or if you want a free catalog and you don't already have a demonstrator, you can email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. If you see anything you like here and you'd like to order, you can go to my online store at jandufour.stampinup.net. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you really like the video, you can always subscribe. I post once a week on Wednesdays, and every once in a while a flash sale. But that's good because it's free shipping usually. All right, so this background texture, which I'm going to show you maybe, yeah, kind of. It's just dots in a straight line, and it comes from one of our new online exclusives, which is, you can't really see it, but it's all dots. Oh, I guess you can there. Very rough to feel. All right, and so as you can see on this one, I came straight down, and it's real easy because when you line up your paper, all you have to do is kind of run it up against one of the dotted lines, and then you know you get it on there straight, so that's cool. And then I decided, and for the card that we're going to make today, I would do it in both directions, so it made it kind of checkered, not really checkered blocks. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do with the next card. I wanted to show you this because, never mind the markings, I thought I'd be brilliant and draw on it and it would come out wonderful, and it did not. So I'm going to have to cover that up with colored cardstock. But I wanted to show you the difference to see if you can tell. This is first generation and this is second generation. In other words, I put both sheets of paper together and ran it through. I got a real sharp points there. It's very, you know, oh geez, I'm not showing you very well, sorry. And then this one is not quite as intense. I don't know why there we go, that's a little bit better. My mirror or my lights must be off. But it does make a difference, but it's still good. So if you want something more subtle, you can use the second generation. We're going to use Blackberry Bliss today. And then we're also going to be using the same stamp as I used last week, which is, nope, not that one. Oh yeah, this A Year of Flowers, and I'm going to make something with this in the near future, but I really liked Hoping Your Day Blooms with Happiness. I just thought that was very nice. So we're using that, and then we're using some more texture. These are textured note dies. They're part of the Botanical Textured Suite. And it's all these rectangles with different, well, there's 4 different patterns, but they nest very nicely, which is very nice to have. So we'll put those aside. Of course, I already did all the work for you because I didn't want this video to be too long. So this is Blackberry Bliss, and I cut it at 4 1/4. And then I scored it at 5 1/2, and that makes it a top fold card, which I do about half and half. But I wanted to make this a top fold so it kind of matched this one. So, of course, the very first thing we do is glue the inside. Another good thing about gluing a sheet or a quarter sheet of cardstock inside, not only is it easier to write because Blackberry Bliss is a very strong dark color and it would not show up unless you wrote with gold or silver, and that's possible too. But it also makes it more like our thick white, basic white, because this has a little bit more thickness than our regular basic white, but not as much as our thick basic white. And good news, we originally were going to no longer have thick basic white in the 8.5 by 11, and they were just going to have it in the 12 by 12. And apparently voices were heard. And so now it's going to be on the online exclusive store. So we are still going to have the 8.5 by 11, which is great. Then people have options, I guess. So this time, instead of it just being in one direction, this one is in 2. So we're going to put that on there. And at first I was kind of worried that glue would come through these holes. They're so small, it doesn't happen. Now watch me. I'm going to do it. It's going to squeak out. I don't think so. All right. And we'll hold it down. It is, because there's texture, you really do kind of have to put it on the edges quite well. Yeah, I didn't quite get it here. I did my usual standard cardstock holding, and that is very strong glue, but I didn't put enough on there to hold it down. And then I'm going to do the same up here. See, I kind of skipped along here. And we'll hold that down, and it will be just perfect. So the next thing we had to do is, I tried it different ways, and I'll show you a couple of examples. I thought maybe I'd use a different color. These, well, I guess I didn't put enough glue here, or I didn't hold it down enough, one or the other. You know, I thought putting multiple colors would be okay. Maybe if I stamped on this in Blackberry Bliss, it would be dark enough to show and yet still allow multiple colors. We have very pretty ribbon that is velvet. Oops. I don't know if you can see the texture on this, but it's so tiny that it's easy to fold into a ribbon. And I thought about putting that on there. You know, I like to play when I play, so I usually try multiple things, and then I have a bunch of leftover these things to use on a later card. But we're going to keep it simple. I'm going to match the color. It's kind of monotone, although not with the white, of course, but just keeping it one color so it doesn't get too crazy. I'm going to go ahead and stamp in Blackberry Bliss. Is this right side? No, it was not. I had the back side of it. And I'm going to bring it down so you can still see it, but I cannot loom my head over it. We'll see how that comes out. And that comes out perfect. I did have a spare over here in case I needed to stamp again, because you know that happens. And although cardstock has 2 different sides, when you have a texture like this, you might not want to use the back side. It would, I don't know if anybody would notice, but it is a little bit different. So I was prepared. I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back. And this is probably overkill, but there you have it. These are not expensive. And if you're putting it through the mail, it's always good to have a few extra. You could probably get away with just doing 2 if you're handing the card to somebody. Here we go. Again, if you don't press it down, that's crooked, but I didn't press it down, so it'll come up and it'll let me put it where I really wanted to, where I really meant to, not dropped it to. Oh, that's still not right. Let's see. Looks to be about that much on that side. Perfect. Okay, and then I decided to just glue it. And again, we have holes on our card, so I'm going to put a little extra glue so it seeps into the second layer. Try not to put it upside down. And this is nice because you can always follow the dots. There. Now it's straight. All right, we're going to hold that down. A little extra around the surface. And then I used the same dots as I used last week. Adhesive backed transparent dots. If you are viewing me on YouTube, go to my website, stampmesilly.com, and I will have a project sheet there for you. I'm going to use a small one this time. Try to keep it even in my usage. This is I want it a little bit this way. Yeah, there. Again, a very simple card, kind of elegant. 2 different patterns. Oops. You could tell me down below which one you think you like better. It didn't take much longer to run it through a second time to get that pattern, so. But yet, it looks like clean and simple. You could send this to a guy or a girl, which always comes in handy when you're looking for a card for a guy, because you don't always have those handy. So, please consider subscribing. I post once a week on Wednesdays. You can either do it through YouTube by pressing the bell and notification down below, or you can go to my website, stampmesilly.com, and just hit contact and fill it out, and you'll be added to my email list. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Bye.